بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ما بعد. Today, inshallah, we're going to start Umdah At-Taalib, the book Umdah At-Taalib, the chapter of Siyam, Kitab al-Siyam. Umdah At-Taalib by Imam Sheikh Mansour ibn Yunus al-Buhuti, rahimahullah ta'ala. And this book is a book of fiqh summarized according to the madhab of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, rahimahullah. You know Imam Ahmad, right? Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. Imam Ahmad was famous for what? Fiqh is his madhab. What else? Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah. The Imam, Ali called him the Imam Ahl Sunnah. He was muhaddith, a scholar of hadith, and also a scholar in Aqidah. That's how he gained the title Imam Ahl Sunnah, due to him being tortured regarding the issue of the Quran. So, Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah, in sequential order, he comes after Imam Abu Hanifa, and after Imam Malik, and after Imam Shafi'i, was Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah. Sheikh Mansour al-Buhuti, rahimahullah, he explained this book, or he wrote this book according to the madhab of Imam Ahmad, and he made it mukhtasar. It's summarized for the beginner. It's a beginner's book, as this is the way of the ulama, the scholars. You don't start off with long, extensive books, the mutawwalat. Those long books come after a person has mastered the beginning level, as we say, the entry level. After the entry level has been mastered, and this is how they wrote books. They wrote books according to the level. So they have, as Imam Mansour, he has books on high level, reference books, and he has books for the beginner. This book is from the books that he wrote for the beginner, a book he wrote for the beginner. And it says that this was the last book he wrote before he died, rahimahullah. The last book he wrote before he died is this book, Umdah At-Taalib. This is after he wrote extensive books in the madhab explaining long books. And one of the books he explained that is famous is the book Zad al-Mustaqni', that we were doing Kitab al-Nikah from, the chapter Nikah, the book of marriage was from Zad al-Mustaqni'. He has a famous explanation for that called Rawd al-Murbir, which is the book that is studied in the universities in Saudi, the majority of them. Rawd al-Murbir. So this book is the last book he died. As it says, he died 7 months after he wrote this. 7 months after he wrote this book, he died, rahimahullah. And it says that this book, what stands out of Yumtaz Hada Kitabi Sahulat al-Ibara wa Wuduhiha, that the language in it is clear and easy. He was the scholar of the method. And this type of language is important to pay attention to. The scholar of his time in Egypt, of the madhab, not just in a certain part, a city of the country. He died, or he was born in the year 1000 after the Hijrah. Right now, what year is it? Anybody know?
1440.
Huh?
1440.
1440. It's right there, we don't know. It's the 7th month, 1440, 1,440 years after the Hijrah. So this book was written over 300 years ago. He died fairly young, at 51. So he has major explanations to different books, and he died when he was 51, rahimahullah ta'ala. And he has many students, many shuyukh that he sat with. Some of the descriptions that the people of his time gave him, and this is something for us to look at. And we talked about this yesterday, but not here, at the prison. When you read the biographies of the ulama of the past, we should read them and then look at ourselves to see how would we stand. It says, أثنى على الشيخ منصور البهوتي رحمه الله كل من عرفه وترجم له. Everybody who knew him or wrote a biography about him had something good to say about him. They praised him. Everybody who met him, everybody who knew him, and everybody who wrote about him, they praised him. And if we say, if we think about us, if we died today or tomorrow, if we died today or tomorrow, what would people have to say about us? What would we be known for? Right? That's the benefit of reading. They were the people that would give fatwa. They would come to and they would give fatwa, answer questions and from the teachers. وكان كان في كل ليلة جمعة يجعل الضيافة ويدعو الجماعة المقادسة. Every night of Jum'ah, the Jum'ah night, every night of Jum'ah, he would have his family come over, and he would call his family to the house, and he would host his family at his house. And if one of them got sick, it says, he would visit them to the point, if someone was sick, he would take them with him. He would visit them, take them back to his house with him, and let them stay with him until the person recovered. وكان الناس تأتيه بالصدقات فيفرقها على طلبته في المجلس ولا يأخذ منها شيئا. It says, and the people used to come to Sheikh Mansour and they would give him sadaqah. They would come by and they would give him sadaqah, right? He would take the sadaqah and he would give it out to his students in the class, and he wouldn't take anything from it. A different time, they was living in a different time where what's the benefit of giving the students the sadaqah? Huh? Jay, soften their heart. What else? Giving gifts, soften the heart. What else? Teaching them adab, Jay. What else? It's a lot of benefits. But we only want one.
He wasn't worried about the world life.
He wasn't worried about the world. Jay. Huh? Giving the students the sadaqah, supporting the tulab al-ilm, it allows them to what? Free up their time to stay busy studying. This way they don't have to worry about spending time, gaining or seeking their risk, their money. They lived off the sadaqah. And it was not something that was disliked or looked down on. We living in a different time. We living in a different time where if there's a talib ilm, and that's how he eats, a lot of people don't respect him. They don't respect him. But when they got questions and problems, he's supposed to be open. His line's supposed to be open 24/7, right? Allahumma musta'an. So it says that he wouldn't take anything from it, but he would give it to the tulab. And the benefit of that is they can stay, they can be busy with knowledge, learning. طيب. It says he was usuliyan mufassiran, faqihan mutabahhinan. He was a faqih, scholar of fiqh, ocean of knowledge, scholar of usul al-fiqh, tafsir. And it says, Jabalan min jibal al-ilm. He was a mountain from the mountains of knowledge. Imam Mansour al-Buhuti, rahimahullah. Described as a mountain, min jibal al-ilm, from the mountains of knowledge. A term that is used for people of a high level of ilm. A high level of ilm. Jabal min jibal al-ilm. And he has many books that he wrote. We won't go through all of them, but one of the most famous is Ar-Rawd al-Murdir, which is the explanation of Zam al-Stuckner. And he died, rahimahullah. And he also, this is the beginner book he wrote previous, right before his death. The last book he wrote before his death is Umdah At-Taalib. Umdah At-Taalib li Nail al-Ma'arib. Tayyib. He died in the year 1051, Hijri. So he was 51 years old. With the explanation, he did a lot of work. A lot of work. And if you count out, if you disregard the years of purity as far as writing, explaining books and writing books. Right? That's not 51 years of writing. Right? You can shave it down to about maybe 35, maybe 30. In 30 years, he did a lot of serious work for Islam. Of course, we're not going to start from the beginning of the book. The book starts from At-Tahara, Kitab al-Salat, just like the other books of fiqh. We start with Kitab al-Siyam. So he says, rahimahullah, Kitab al-Siyam. Siyam. Siyam has a meaning. The meaning of a siyam, as the ulama do, they always bring the meaning lughatan in the Arabic language, and then they'll bring the meaning shar'an, legislative. In the Arabic language, it means what? To abstain from something. Mujarrad al-imsak. A lot of this, it should be, if a person is paying attention to the class on Monday from Umdah At-Taalib, in the class today, a lot of it is going to be repetitive. So by Ramadan, inshallah, we'll be finished the book of Siyam, we'll be finished the chapter of fasting, and we would have covered, inshallah, we'll cover everything that we'll need to cover regarding fasting, inshallah. So some of this is repetitive, and some of it might be new, but what makes things stick, what makes it stick is repetition. Repetition is what's going to make it stick. The meaning of as-siyam in the language of Arabic, the Arabic language, is mujarrad al-imsak, the fact that a person abstains from something, right? Therefore, as it says, you call it sakit. If a person is quiet, if a person is just sitting there quiet, then we'll say that person is sa'im, a fasting. Because they're refraining from speaking. They're not speaking. They're not speaking. They're refraining from speaking, so they consider fasting in the Arabic language, according to the Arabic language, not shari'atan, not legislatively. The proof they use for that is the ayah from Surah Maryam. Surah Maryam, ayah 26. That I vow to the most merciful to Soma, as she said, Soma, meaning refraining from fasting. Shara'an, fasting has a specific meaning Islamically, legislatively. And these meanings are these. When Islam was perfected. When was that? The second year of what? After the Hijrah. The second year after the Hijrah. The second year after the Hijrah from Mecca to Medina. The second year after the Hijrah from Mecca to Medina. قال ibn Hajar rahimahullah fi Sha'ban. It said it was in the month of Sha'ban. So the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam fasted tis'a Ramadanat ijma'an. That the Messenger alayhi salatu wasallam, he fasted Ramadan. He fasted 9 Ramadans. Gotta be here.
You said linguistically, song specific, and pause on the recording.
So, the meaning Islamically, imsak biniyya, to refrain from something with the intention, an ashya makhsusa, from specific things, refraining or abstaining from specific things, fi zaman mu'ayyan, in a specific time, for a specific time period, min shakhs mumtaz. Ramadan, fasting Ramadan is a pillar, so it's not an optional worship. It's not worship that's optional. It's from the arkan of Islam. Every Muslim has to believe in the obligation of fasting Ramadan. It's a pillar. What else is it?
The month in which the Quran was revealed.
Jade. The month in which the Quran was revealed. What else? That's something specific about Ramadan. Ramadan is a pillar. Ramadan is also what?
It was prescribed for those before them.
Other nations before the Muslims had to fast. What else? Male and females have to fast? Of course it's a mercy, it's a rahmah. Ramadan. It's not tricky, y'all. It's a what?
A month.
A month. It's a month. Ramadan is a month. Now the question is, what month is it? Because on the Islamic calendar we have 12 months. The 9th month. Ramadan on the Islamic calendar is the 9th month. Meaning before Ramadan there are 8 months. And then after Ramadan there are more months to come. Ramadan is the 8th month. The 9th month. The month before Ramadan is what? Sha'ban. Clear? And after Ramadan is Shawwal. We gotta know these words because the entrance of the month is connected to understanding. Number one, Ramadan is the 9th month. It's a month before it, it's a month after it. After that, we gotta understand, before we talk about the entrance of Ramadan, when does Ramadan start? Is that the night Islamically comes before the day. You gotta understand that. That today is what? What's today? Wednesday. Yeah. So Islamically, today is Thursday night. Islamically, rulings like that, rulings Islamically, this is Thursday night. Okay? Tomorrow is Thursday. And then tomorrow after Maghrib is Friday night. Later to Jumu'ah. Okay? So, Maghrib starts the night. Maghrib starts the night. So now it's Thursday night. After Fajr it'll be Thursday. Then after Maghrib, on Thursday after Maghrib, it'll be Friday night, and so on and so forth. Clear? Don't forget that because it's going to affect the first issue that we're dealing with. That it's obligatory, and what he's discussing now is how do we know when to start fasting? There's a couple different ways that we know Ramadan has begun. Khulasatan, in summary, there are 3 ways. How do we know Ramadan started? The month of Ramadan. The sighting of the moon. The sighting of the moon indicates a new month. And a new month indicates what? The end of the previous month. Clear? Everybody with me? Meaning, it's nothing strange about people going to sight the moon every month. The moon could be, you can go to sight the moon, a person can go and look for the moon every month. Because the moon, the new, right? It starts every month. Also, Islamically a month is how many days? 29 or 30. Not 28 and not 31. Either 29 or 30 days. That's all we have for the months on the Islamic calendar. Which means eventually the years are shorter, right? And when the years are shorter, over time, if you look up your birthday on the Hijri calendar, Islamically, a lot of us are older than we think we are.
By at least a year.
Right? By at least a year, maybe 2, depending on how old you are. Right? If you look on the Islamic calendar and you type your birthday in, right? It gives a little older. You're a little older than you think you are. Right? Tayyib. So the first, we know that when you see the moon, which means that Sha'ban, the 8th month is over. Easy. Right? If you see the moon, you know it's done. It's Ramadan. Tayyib. He says, Yajibu Sawm Ramadan bi ru'yati hilalihi. If a person sees the hilal, it's obligatory fasting Ramadan. Meaning, when is the hilal spotted? The hilal is spotted, Maghrib of the first day. The first day of fasting will be, for example, today is Wednesday. The moon will be sighted Maghrib, tonight, which means tomorrow is Ramadan. We will be fasting on Thursday. Meaning tonight will be the first night of Ramadan. Which means we will pray Tarawih tonight. Why? Because Tarawih is a Salat of Ramadan tonight. Ramadan is in, it's official. Ramadan is official, we will pray tonight. And then when we start fasting, Thursday. You with me? Clear? طيب. That's the first way. فإن لم يرى مع الصحب الليلة الثلاثين أفطروا. People go to see spot the moon, right? On, as it says, Layla Thalathin. Pay attention. Layla Thalathin. They go out on the 30th night of Sha'ban. The 30th night of Sha'ban, the 8th month. The 30th night means how many days already passed? 29 days already passed in Sha'ban. They didn't see the moon. They go out on the 30th night, right? It's possible now, because the month has to be what? At least 29 days. It could be 30, but at least 29, right? Like 29 days passed, so now it's after Maghrib, 29 days have passed, so we gotta look because it could be Ramadan tomorrow, right? So the people, they go to look on Layla Thalathin, the 30th night, right? Because the next day is the 30th day. So this is the 30th night. We did 29 days on the 30th night. It's clear out, clear, nothing, not cloudy, no bad, no weather conditions preventing from seeing the moon. They go out and they don't see anything. They don't see the moon. What do?
Start fasting.
Huh?
Start fasting the day.
Start fasting the next day. Wait till the 30th.
It says already the 30th, so that's the last day of the month, regardless.
Huh?
If it was the 29th, then you could wait and see. But if it's the 30th day, the next month will start regardless. So you fasting the next day.
Pay attention. It said what?
30th night.
There you are. When is the 30th night? The 30th night is before the 30th day. They didn't do 30 days yet. They did 29 days, right? Which means we have to look now. Because a month could be 29 days. That means Ramadan could be tomorrow. We go out there, we look, we don't see anything. If we don't see the hilal, do we fast? If we don't see the hilal, we don't see the moon, is it Ramadan tomorrow? La.
No, you have
On
to
the
wait.
30th
You have to wait till
night?
the
The
day.
30th night?
There is no 31st night, the
Pay
next
attention.
night, right?
You have to
Would
wait
be-
till the day.
The 30th night means tomorrow is the 30th day.
Night precedes the day, so you fast.
So you fast.
You with me?
No.
Which means, if we go out there on the 29th, on the 30th night, we already did 29 days. And most of us, honestly, most of us, this is just for us to understand how the procedure goes, but most of us are not going to be involved in this process. Anyway, our reality is what? We want to hear, yo, they spotted the moon, khalas, we fasting tomorrow. That's what we're going to do. But the reality is, this is how it works. They go out on the 30th night. They don't see anything. It's clear. They don't see the hilal. You want to fast? No. Because we fast if we see the moon. We don't fast if we don't see the moon. Clear? That means that Sha'ban is going to go to how many days? 30. So Sha'ban could be 29 days. If we go out there after 29 days and we see it, 29 days, we fast. That's why Ramadan sometimes, every year, Ramadan is sometimes 29 days and sometimes 30 days. Because during Ramadan, after we fast 29 days, the people go out and they start looking. Because it's possible that the night that Ramadan could be 29, so they gotta go look. Can't just say, no, it's gonna be 30 this year, right? Can't do that. It's based on the hilal. It ain't based on the calendar. It ain't based on when the people reserve the convention center or whatever center we're gonna do it at. Wherever we reserve the spot that we're gonna have our Eid at, we booked it on this day, so we gotta have our Eid on that day. It's not based on that. We booked it around here at the playground on a certain day. That don't mean that Eid is gonna fall on that day. So what do we need to do? We need to book it for 2 days, just in case. The ahkam, the rulings are based on the moon, not the calendar. The calendar could be wrong. The moon is the sighting, that's also.
So that 30th night, it's not there, but you still got your 30th day
Ayo.
following that. And
That is the
30th
30th night, then the next day is the 30th day, then that day after Maghrib will be the 31st night, right?
Right.
31st night. The first night of the next month, no 31st night. Tayyib. So that's the first two. Either A, we see the moon after 29 days. Whenever we see the moon, we fast, whether it's 29 or 30. If we go over there after 29 days, right, and it's not out there, we just complete the month and make it 30. Those are the first two. Either we see the moon, or we go to spot the moon and it's not there, so we go take it to 30 days. It's no problem in that. The ulama differ in the third way. The third way to spot the moon is where the ulama differ, which is on that night, as he says, وَإِنْ حَالَ دُونَهُ غَيْمٌ أَوْ قَطَرٌ أَوْ نَحْوُ وَجَبَ الصَّوْمُ. They go out on that same night, which is the 29th, right? And when they go out there to look, it's cloudy. Might have been dusty, whatever the situation is. They can't really see, right? So now, if they can't see the hilal, they can't see the moon, right? Based on what? Weather conditions. Based on weather conditions. We can't see if it's there or not. It could be there, it might not be there. Right? You with me? The moon might be there, but they can't see it. It's cloudy that night, it's dusty that night, it's foggy, whatever the situation is, they're not able to see it. Okay? Do we fast or do we wait? Do we assume tomorrow's Ramadan? Or do we say no, tomorrow's not Ramadan? Wait. So what if the moon is up there?
And that would be the question on the back end. Do you make up that day?
Do you make up that day? Huh? It's the 30th night. So we already did 29 days. Pay attention. We did 29 days in Sha'ban. We go out there to look, because Ramadan might be tomorrow. When we go to look, we can't see, because it's foggy, it's cloudy.
You complete the 30.
Complete the 30. So don't fast tomorrow, just complete the 30.
So the difference of opinion, you can either fast there, or you can complete because the narration said you can fast it because it's cloudy, you can't see the hilal, right? Or you can just complete the, I think it was Ali went over Ibn Umar, when he asked him that while we was fasting, he said, well, I fasted because I was in Shams and I saw the sun, I saw the moon. So, what is the safest opinion of?
That narration you talking about is regarding
The moon.
not this. That's regarding the issue of international sighting and local sighting, not the international local sighting. We go out there the 29th night, the 30th night, which means we have done 29 days of Sha'ban. The month could be 29 days, which means the next day could be Ramadan. We get out there, we can't see it. What do? He says, wajib as-sawm. It's obligatory to fast the next day, even though they didn't see it. They didn't see it, it was cloudy, whatever the situation was. Wajib as-sawm. Obligatory to fast it. Ihtiyatan. It says, out of precaution, biniyat Ramadan. They can't see it, they come back and say we couldn't see it. And this is where the ulama differ. Ulama differ on this. All of them don't accept this. All the ulama don't agree with this one. That how you gonna fast, you didn't see the moon. Right? Other scholars say no, ihtiyatan. A person makes their niyyah that Ramadan, and they carry on tomorrow as if it's Ramadan. Right? And this is due to the statement of all, or the hadith, the explainer, the narrator of the hadith is Ibn Umar. And Ibn Umar, on that night, he used to send somebody to look. And this is how he would proceed with it, Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma. So they say, since Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma is the narrator of the hadith, and this is how he acted on it, he understands the hadith the best because he's the one who's narrating it. This is their argument. Others say no, and they disagree. So the third one, if it's cloudy out there and they can't see, all the scholars don't agree with that. Tayyib, that if you don't see the moon because of clouds, that they say you don't fast. And some say you do. The author here, he's of the position, of course, he say obligatory to fast. Why? Ihtiyatan, just in case, with the intention that it's Ramadan.
So with that being a position that they differ on, is it, what could be the harm, or is there any harm if you fast a day before?
If you fast that day and it's not Ramadan, then Ramadan comes in the next day, then what? That first day is not part of your fasting. It doesn't count.
Right, but what I'm saying is it's no harm. You just don't count it as part of Ramadan, right?
Right. Right. It wouldn't be counted towards your Ramadan if it comes out and it becomes clear that that wasn't the first day. And there's other things attached to it, other ahkam attached to it, and some things that are not attached to it. Right? So they say because the month, if you fast like that, they say things that are attached to Ramadan are not all, let's say, effective. They don't take effect based on the fast starting out of maybe, maybe not. It's not officially in. So for example, as they mentioned, an example that is, it says, if somebody fasts like that, right? Not really sure it was cloudy. It said, they pray Tarawih, right? They would pray Tarawih. They would do everything that you would do during Ramadan, except, but say for example, if a man, and this is the example they give, it says, Talaq mu'allaq bi Ramadan. That a man may say, he might say to his wife that you're divorced when Ramadan comes. When Ramadan enters, you're divorced, right? He connects the divorce to the entrance of Ramadan. Okay? He might have said this 6 months ago. He says when Ramadan comes, you're divorced, right? They say that night, that hukum doesn't apply. There's other things connected to it. That night it doesn't apply. That means she really got one more day of marriage to the, you know what I'm saying, before she's in Iddah, okay? Our reality is we're not going to be dealing with that, but this is the procedure, how it goes, the sight of the moon.
Is that pertaining to the 30th day you saying where they have difference of opinion about fasting the following day?
Yes. No, not the 30th day, the 30th night.
I mean 30th night.
Yes. You get the picture? The 30th night, everybody. The 30th night means tomorrow could be Ramadan, but it might not be. We might have one more day.